een groot oberverdaier. Oh, what is that, bud?
I kidding.
Welcome to Cross Talk, John.
Yes.
By the way, you're actually the first person that I'm interviewing for this season, by the way.
I'm honored.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
So,
Talk to me.
one, how are you doing this morning, John?
I got the family to the house. I don't usually do school drop off. My wife usually does that, but this morning I had to take my son out to school. I don't know, man. It's just so there's this song that I'm listening to by a guy called Corey Asbury. I have it on repeat. And the song talks a lot about his children and saying these are the days that he will want back. So essentially, dropping children off to school, dropping his child off to school, the tantrums, the curiosity, just the innocence of childhood, the beautiful and the not so pretty things about raising a child. He's saying one day you're going to want these things back. So I'm learning to enjoy all of the dynamics of fathering. So sitting along in traffic and I hear my 4-year-old scream down the place because he wants to watch Corey Carson or YouTube or Blippi. I'm learning to be like, you know what, this is a part of the process. And so hopefully, not being cool enough right now to replace Blippi or Corey Carson and fighting for conversation. Just learn to enjoy those moments and make the most of them. So usually this would have been a big bother for me to be in traffic because I'm not going that way. But I loved it. I'm learning to change my perspective on a lot of things to do with him.
It's interesting you mention that because I actually wanted to talk to you and like fast forward the interview.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. No, it's very free flowing conversation because I want to know what that balance is like between the pursuit of music, the balance of being a pastor, the balance of being a father, and then still having to balance also being a lover because you're married. As well, you know, like what is that like for you?
So I think it first looks like having priorities very clear. So my family is number one. My family takes priority to church. My family takes priority to music. My family takes priority to work. You know, so once I keep my priorities in line, it then helps me to be able to determine what will I give my time to. So for example, church is work. And pastoral ministry is a service vocation that I am honored to be able to participate in. But I am not going to do it at the expense of my family. But because my family is a big priority, it means I communicate with my wife and my son that there are going to be times that I will be out. So that means that I put provisions in place to ensure my family is taken care of. So if I know I'm going to be out all night, I can prepare dinner. If I know I can be out all evening, shucks, my wife asks me to wash the dishes.
So you did not wash the dishes?
I didn't wash the dishes yet. But no, because again, I can be out this evening. And so there's certain things that I like to do. And again, because we talk about it, there's certain things that she would ask me to do to make things easier for her when she gets back in. So that it is less of a hassle, less of a frustration when she's home. Or if she's home alone with Malachi, she doesn't have to be worrying about dinner. She doesn't have to be worrying about cleaning things. She doesn't have to worry about doing that. But I'm the one with the flexibility in my schedule. So I think first having my priorities very clear helps me to navigate music and church. So music again is not one of the main things that I do. Even though I treat it as a career, it's not my main stream of income. So I make time for it when I have time for it. But I'm always, as a creative, I'm always thinking, as you know, you're always thinking about what you can do next. How can you do something better? I am on call at church. When people need me, I make myself available. But again, that making myself available falls in a context because my schedule only makes provision between 9 to 1, between 2 to 6 is blocked. If it's an emergency, well then it's an emergency. And I'm grateful that I have a granny and a grandpa, and my son has a granny and grandpa that where it needs be, they will think. But I think it all starts by just having structure to your life in terms of priorities and everything else. So there's things I just don't give for myself to. I know that I can make time for this because this falls in the window that I have free. I know I can make time for this because in my schedule I don't have any commitments at work or for music. So this was a no-brainer. And it's it's Mr. Joe Money.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the kitchen and not washing the dishes, and I know that very often I would see you post when you pulling up the grill and you have the meat. So would you say that you are a better chef than you are a singer, or a better singer than you are a chef?
I don't know, I've never thought. Let me see. I feel so. I do more cooking than I do singing, so I think I'm a better cook. I am a better singer. I'm a pretty darn good singer. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we need to flip a coin and see. I'm not sure. But I do way more cooking than I do singing for sure.
I know you pride yourself on your mix and making sure it falls off.
I studied culinary arts.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, I really did it. I spent a few years in the industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in other words, you throw me a
so it's not just a hobby, something that I love doing or something that I figured out. I actually spent 3 years. I did the general catering program at BCC. Then I went on to do the culinary arts program. I spent 2 summers in the States on an island called Nantucket, working as a cook there. All of this was before I went off to do my theological studies. So before pastoral ministry, I was heading hard to be a chef. That was my dream.
So in a way, God kind of called you away. I
would say not called away from it because I'm still very much still a foodie. It's just that my focus of career, I would say that's where I got called away from.
Interesting,
right? But I still do have hope of finding a way that food becomes a means of revenue. I'm always looking for an extra stream of income. My friends love what I do. You see, the thing with barbecue is that, with the smoking, is that it took me a while to figure out there was. I can recall a time, man. I was really feeling myself, and a friend of mine asked me to do some smoked meat for them. I'm like, sure. Man, that thing flopped so bad. I was so embarrassed. A friend of mine reminded me about it recently. It's like, yeah, it wasn't as good as it had been the last time. It was like, you got it now, boy. But yeah, so I'd say I do see how my life got shifted from what I had planned to do. But it's still a passion, and it's still a skill. It's still something I love. It's just not what I give. And when I look back now, Joel, I don't know how I would have had the type of life that I have now, in terms of music, in terms of family, had I been working in somebody's restaurant.
Right, it's true, because the type of demand
the demands are ridiculous. So I think that there's this verse that says all things work together for the good of those that love him and call according to his purposes. And so I must admit, I sometimes miss the rush of it, but I would not trade the life I have right now to do that.
It's interesting you mentioned that. I'm going to take you back now. Because I was scrolling through the gram and thing, and in preparation for this very interesting chat we're about to have. And I want to take you back to John Yarde before the beard.
Okay.
I saw your beard journey, I watched your beard journey come true, and you say
Well, I must say, I've watched your beard journey too.
My beard is called as a COVID, to be honest. COVID allowed me to grow the beard because my mother was always saying, "Joe, I'm gonna cut that off." But COVID, the barbers are shut, so I couldn't cut nothing. And I say, if I connect and thing, so a part of the beard crew. But
welcome.
It's interesting to watch the journey of John Yarde come through from beard to from no beard to beard. So without that beard, what were you chasing at that stage of your life? Can you remember what you had your sights set on? So was it that was the stage of the cooking, or was there something before the cooking?
It most definitely was. She has passed away now, Miss Pritchlow Earl. She would have been a stalwart in the hospitality and the tourism industry. But I remember, man, she was one who spotted me as a young man, as a student, and provided opportunities for me. So she was the one who, while everybody else was going to Disney, she recommended that I go to Nantucket. And Nantucket is kind of like it's off of the coast of Massachusetts, and it's like the wealthy people that don't come to the Caribbean, they go there.
Okay.
So I got to really rub shoulders with some pretty amazing chefs, and it was an exciting experience. One of the things that she used to drill was like, getting that beard off of your face, getting that facial hair off your face. And I hated it. You know, so it was one of the things that I absolutely hated. But I was fixed on my culinary pursuits at that time, cut the beard. But once I transitioned, I started to grow. For sure. Music was not even a thing yet then. It was more something I knew I was good at, but it wasn't something I had given myself to. Yeah.
So then how did that music journey begin for you? What was the first song you ever wrote, John?
2004, youth camp at QC.
Oh, nice school that. Yeah.
I was at QC. A lady, Leon Lashley and Sean Port, were my camp counselors, church camp. The theme of the camp was Treasures for Life. And that was the first time I ever wrote a song. You know, they assisted, but I had the idea and it helped me to because Leon at that time, I think she was a BCC music student. She went on to become a lecturer. Sean was in an a cappella group and a musician. So I was fortunate that they saw this the gift and skill in me very quickly, and I helped to facilitate. And that was the first song I ever wrote, Treasures for Life. I can't remember a lot of these songs.
But I know that since that you've been able to get to the stage now where you're able to put on your own conscious. What is the feeling that you get when you're on stage, John?
I love it. I am home. There's no better feeling than being up there performing, singing. And I think because of what I do as a gospel artist, it goes a bit beyond performing, but you get to lead people to the experience of worshiping God. You get to lead people and facilitate. You get to be a part of person's transformation, be a part of people's freedom and joy at a deep spiritual level. And I think for me, there's a really great sense of humility, of joy, of excitement of getting to do that. Music just makes people happy too at the end of the day. Because while I serve in a big component within the Christian community.
Your journey of music, by the way, my mother loves your music. She loves your concerts, by the way. So,
my mom.
Yeah. She was at last one was My Everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she was at that one. Yeah, she was there. She I think it was overseas for that one. She called me and said, she really had a good time. Like, yeah, she gave me the whole rundown and things. So mommy's attend all your concerts.
Thanks, mom.
Yeah, but it hasn't been an easy journey for you music-wise.
It is a very expensive venture. I think there is a space where you have to battle your own demons, your own insecurities, because music is very subjective. And so everyone will not always love what you do. And it can become quite emotional when, of course, you just spend $3 grand on a record and it doesn't get the type of attention you thought it would have been. And then again, you really have to manage your own insecurity, because you may spend $3 grand on a record and a man buy your beat off of the internet for $150 and it blows up. You know, I put a lot of work into my art, and sometimes it looks like persons don't, or sounds like persons don't, and you have to manage that. And so it took a while for me to get to a place where I was secure in me. Forget music now, because I mainly pay attention to John. Where I realized, you're putting yourself into a space that is very critical, in a space that's very subjective, and so you must first master your own emotion. Like, for example, picking the clock last year was my first time ever being in competition. So that was a whole other level of scrutinization, of critique.
People wondering why John Yarde in this.
Why the pastor doing up there doing that? He's support. I hear that people always say Vincent and Grenada was wondering what that. It's like, what? So that's so cool. You know, but it's a whole level for me. Competition was a whole level of criticism, of speculation, and not just about why, but just art. And so I was so glad that I went then and not earlier, because I was a lot more secure in myself. You know, so to me it didn't really matter what people said or what people thought about the song or about why I was there. Now, of course, it mattered. For me, there were 3 people that I was concerned about what they thought. 4, my wife and my 3 mentors. Once they gave me their blessing, my wife was a bit. She grew up not exposed to such things, but she grew up in a space where talk over was a big no-no. And so anything associated with it, pick the clock names, in my opinion, come up in the most wholesome aspect of it. She did not have a paradigm. So if the she said, okay, maybe we'll see. No, she loves it. She loves it. But once the four of them, I had their blessing, it did not matter. But then it's still gonna go before the people. Everybody know. Everybody is the calypsonian. Everybody is the judge and jury, and then there's actually a judge and jury. So for me, it was the real value to me of music. I sat on here. It's not how it has impacted my economics, not how it has impacted my public personality, but how it's impacted me as a man. I have had to be, has forced me to grow up and to be very secure in myself. So now, if something doesn't do well, fine. If something does well, fine. You know? Yeah.
It's interesting because I guess in a way, I definitely understand that putting your craft out there side of things, which makes me wonder, what is probably the best piece of advice that you've gotten on a journey of life, whether or not it has to do with music, family, that one nugget that you would say you carry around with you everywhere?
It would have to definitely, don't rush something that will outlive you.
Don't rush something that will outlive you.
Yeah. And so by that, and that can be applied to purpose, to relationships, that can be applied to every facet of life. Because this is a story being told that will carry on. So and by outliving me, not just when I die, but you will be in spaces that I am not. And this experience may come to life and may take on a whole this may go on to something, but it's obviously going somewhere. You know, but this may impact you in a way that I never know. So for me, it means that I choose what I communicate very carefully. It means that I think about the things that I give myself to. It means that for music, that I don't rush the process of just throwing music out for an event. I don't rush the process of getting music out. It means that when I choose a partner, I don't rush the process. So because I'm aware that there are things that I will give myself to that will exist in spaces that I am not, and there are things that will exist long after I pass on, that don't rush the process. Don't rush into things, or when you're in things, don't seek to just get out of them, but to make the most of what is in its purpose. Don't rush to just give yourself to everything. Figure out what is it that you're called to do. Figure out what is it that I'm passionate about, and giving myself solely to that. So not rushing the things that will outlive you, because I think there are things that I do in the earth today, decisions that I make today, that will serve somebody else 70 and 100 years down the road. There are things that I may say this may have an impact on you or on you, that after I pass, that you tell it to your children, or you apply something in your life that you share with your children that long after my existence has value. So don't rush the things that will help you. And I think it really is not rushing interactions, not rushing relationships, not taking people for granted, but seeing value and taking the time to add value.
I love that.
That was a mouthful.
I love that. I write that down after this. Do not rush things that will. That's a real nugget there, John. Yeah. But we're here right now. Yeah. I'm not sure if you know where I can go with this one here. No.
I have no clue.
I know, right? You can pick it up very soon. There's several songs from you that I thoroughly enjoy, but here right now is one that stands out in my mind. For some reason, every time I hear it, I kind of have to pause and soak that in. And it's probably 5 years plus now that song has been out. Yeah. How did that song come about for you?
You want the truth?
Yeah, I want the truth.
I was talking to a girl, right? And I was thinking about my day on the phone this morning. And I was like, what do you mean today? I had no clue what my day was going to be. She was going to song joking. So I went by the piano to go and she was saying but then when I sat down to play, I was like, what was the chorus? I don't remember what came out, but I remember, yes, the chorus came, right, I was trying to walk in, the chorus came first. You alone are good. So my intention was to go and sing this and sing it. But I sat down and, you alone are good, you alone are good. Emmanuel, God with his spirit. I was like, I can call you back. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know what came out. When I started putting cards, the music spoke to me, and what I wanted to communicate with those cards was not what my intentions originally. That relationship, that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but funny enough, the song wait.
So but that went on to be one of the most popular songs. Songs sung in churches across the Caribbean. I only know of one church that has sung a song in the Caribbean in the United States. I think it's doing pretty okay in the UK. But that song went on to do extremely well. But it's origin really was I was talking to Bill. I started thinking about my day, and I didn't have a clue what I was going to do with my day. And she's like, "Oh, where's the song?" So I got before I went here talking to her. And the rest is history. I connected with a young lady, her name is Sweetie. She took the world by storm, and with one of her songs. And so Let Praises Rise. We teamed up. She wrote her verse. The rest is history.
Well, let me see that when we get on here, you know?
That's alright.
It's just something about it that you gotta stop and enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree.
My very soul sing to you, my God and King. Oh, you are my constant peace. And you see everything, despite how I may feel. I know you're here with me. And every single breath I breathe, I consider all you've done for me. Command my soul to glorify your name.
You alone, my God.
Get it, bro. Get it. Yeah.
I can't get any notes.
I can't get there right now either. I get over cool, bro. I can't get there right now either.
You are God with us. And then don't you guys go, here I
I can't do that again, boy. Boy. That's a great hair.
I see a gray hair in my beard earlier this morning, so my boy, I realize that, you know. It's not getting old by their old aging signs, you know. They're there as well. It's a little painful, but, you know. That's why they make black dye.
I just cut them, bro.
Yeah, mine got cut out eventually.
I said, Barbara, just you know.
John, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. I've definitely learned stuff that I didn't know about you. Like I said, I know you used to like to cut, but I didn't know that could hit was coming here. But yeah, it was an absolute pleasure, you know. And well, maybe you come around in season 6 and a couple more things happen for you. We can dive back in, you know. Maybe in a spaceship next time.
Oh yeah, I love it, man. I enjoy you doing amazing things, man. You're doing amazing things. It's exciting to see. Because I said, I followed your story. And I remember when you left QC. I remember you really wanted to get into public speaking space. You wrote down some things you wanted to accomplish. And I remember you posting that. I remember also seeing when you did those things and you posted that. I remember when you went off to the UK to study. And it's so exciting to see a young man who was focused on what his dream was. Might have been promised a chatterbox or whatever in school. I know this is your career.
It is true.
And consistently seeking to carve spaces out, putting yourself in spaces where may not be your spaces that may not be your niche. And say, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. I'm either going to learn to fly or I'm going to fall flat on my face. But I'm going to make time for it. And I think that's exciting because I think those who are willing to take the risk experimenting, take the risk of one pursuing vision, are the ones that always soar. So I'm also very inspired by you, bro. I pay attention when I see people doing spectacular things.
I appreciate that, but
this is
a great turn. Hey, I recognize his sign. I recognize his sign.
Excuse me. You try this.
I ain't know, boy, but it worked out perfectly, boy.
Man, you pull up and you do it as you saw that. Well.
Got that perfection. Couple seconds up. Absolute pleasure, bro.
Thank you so much, man.
Go and wash the dishes.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
I get washing dishes and then head to the office.
That easy, boy.
Man. Thank you so much, bud.
No problem, bro.